Monday to Friday, 12:45 to 2 p.m. The Lunchroom. Informative, enlightening, provocative, engaging. The Lunchroom on RCI. Food for thought. The station that gives you, more lunch.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Lunchroom on Radio Caribbean International. It is Wednesday, July the 9th, 2025, and this is program number 1406 of the Lunchroom. I'm your host, Calix George Jr. Now, of course, in addition to 101.1 FM, you can also get us at our website, and we are also streaming live on our Facebook page. You just have to search for the official page of Radio Caribbean International. Please be sure to like and share that link as well with your friends and family. If you want to call in to tell us what's on your plate today, the number to do so is 452-3046. Again, 452-3046. And you also have the option of messaging in to our WhatsApp number. That is 724-0008. And you can get us there. Again, 724-0008. Now, we want to look at some history for today. We're back in the 1868. The states of Louisiana and South Carolina were the last to ratify the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, guaranteeing civil rights. In the year 1893, surgeon Daniel Hale Williams performed the first successful open-heart surgery when he repaired the torn pericardium of knife wound patient James Cornish without the use of penicillin or blood transfusion. In the year 1917, the British battleship HMS Vanguard exploded at Scapa Flow due to an internal explosion caused by a faulty cordite, and that led to the loss of life of 804 crew members. 1971, on this day, U.S. National Security Advisor Henry Kissinger secretly visited the People's Republic of China to negotiate a détente between the U.S. and China. 2002, on this day, the African Union was established in Addis Ababa, and that was, of course, in Ethiopia. And the first chairman, Thabo Mbeki, president of South Africa. 2017, on this day, Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi proclaimed victory over IS, Islamic State forces, in Mosul. And some birthday greetings for today. I want to send out birthday greetings to Mr. Michael Bartlett. Happy birthday to you, sir. And we do hope that you're having a wonderful birthday celebration. Also to my good friend, Mr. Elroy Cupid, happy birthday to you. And we're hoping that you're having a very blessed day indeed. Also to Mr. Trevor Heath, who's celebrating his birthday today, and wishing you a wonderful, wonderful day. And of course, hope you are in the best of health and happiness. And as well, we want to send out birthday greetings to Miss Jacka Wooding. Happy birthday to you. And we do hope that you're having a splendid birthday celebration. We now move on to our dish of the day. The daily dish is brought to you with the kind compliments of our good friends at Tiles Plus.
One tiles for your home, I see. Bathroom, kitchen, pantry. Need tiles for your balcony. Come down to Tiles Plus, satisfaction guarantee. Tiles Plus, Tiles Plus, Tiles Plus. Big tiles with unbeatable cost. Customer service, A+. Did all kind of tiles. Come down to Tiles Plus. We also got gasway and vanity. Box, doors, you'll see. Come down to mind nobody. We got the best tiles on island. Trust me. We are located Land Street in Castries, Bosses Grozile, and Slack Street in Beaufort. Telephone number 453-7939. Tiles Plus.
Serving now, the Daily Dish.
And welcome back to our program for today. Now, of course, in our political system, the type that we have, which is quite often described as the Westminster system, sometimes refer to it as the Whitehall system because we effectively have a parliamentary democracy in which we have a parliament, and the nature of how we elect the head of government involves general election, and the party, the person who is the leader of the party, which has, of course, the greatest support at an election, ends up being the prime minister. And in our system, the person who is the prime minister holds a great deal of sway and power over effectively the cabinet, who becomes the head of state as well, in terms of the governor general, appointments that are made, significant appointments. They all really do need the blessing of the prime minister. And of course, he selects his cabinet and determines who would remain and who may not remain within his cabinet from time to time. And of course, we have seen that prime ministers, in the case of St. Lucia in particular, they've tended to also, through the allocation of portfolios, ensure that there are certain key portfolios that they've kept for themselves. And one of them has been that of finance. It has been this certainly most consistent ministerial portfolio that is being held by the prime minister. In many other countries, the prime minister is simply just that, and his ministry is the ministry of the prime minister, which tends to serve in a coordinating function across all of government. But in the case of St. Lucia and many other Caribbean countries over the years, the prime minister has held on to that portfolio of finance. And so as a result of that, he quite often is the one who sets the tone in terms of the economy and the general direction of the country in that regard. Albeit, of course, it quite likely is that a prime minister could still be able to do so without necessarily being the Minister of Finance. In the case of the United Kingdom, the Prime Minister holds another title, which kind of always, and this is a pretty much an old title from days gone by, that of First Lord of the Treasury, within which the Treasury was usually involved, headed by a number of different lords, if you like, and he would have been considered to be a sort of a de facto individual in terms of oversight on matters of finance. But be that as it may, of course, the matter of prime ministers, who's good and who's not, has always been, of course, a matter that a lot of people at the end of the day will go out to the polls to decide. And in as much as our system does not permit one to directly elect a prime minister, I believe by now we have come to a point where quite often the individual who is the political leader of any political party tends to stand out as a very critical position. And so very many times, in fact, individuals may not even go out to vote for the person who's putting themselves up, or the people who are voting themselves up for their constituencies. They may not like them. They may not necessarily think that they may be the best person. They may sometimes even prefer another candidate. But they quite often put that aside because they have confidence in who the prime minister is, or who the political leader of that party is, and the likely person to become prime minister, depending on who wins that general election, depending on where they cast their vote. And so it is certainly a really important consideration. And there have been suggestions over the years that maybe we should in fact head towards a different system, one which would in fact allow for a more direct selection of the head of government, and in fact being able to have more than one vote, because as it is right now, that one vote is what effectively you have as a citizen of St. Lucia at a general election. And you don't have the option of ranking who you prefer. You don't have the option of saying you want to vote for a particular slate. So you don't have the option of shifting your vote if in fact, and some countries have those types of transferable voting systems where you can literally say, well, if you prefer this person, this candidate, first and foremost, but if that one doesn't get enough votes, then I will transfer my support to another candidate. And these are in systems where quite often you require a true a simple majority to be able to, in fact, elect a candidate. So we don't have that option here in the case of St. Lucia, and we just have that one vote. And so, of course, the issue of who is leader of the country quite often takes a paramount position in the minds of many individuals. Of course, in the next election, one can say that in this instance, we would actually have had the opportunity to have seen in 2 consecutive electoral cycles the 2 individuals who will be putting themselves up effectively to become the next Prime Minister of St. Lucia. In the first instance, of course, we had Mr. Alan Chasney, who was the leader of the country between June 2016 and July 2021. And we have currently Mr. Philip Pierre, who has been the head of the government since July of 2021, until such time, of course, that election is called, and then the people have to go back to the polls to decide again. Now, of course, that allows for a level of comparison in terms of the performance of the leadership in regards of the those 2 gentlemen. And of course, as we know, all leaders have their strengths and their weaknesses, their pluses and their minuses. And it really will be up to the electorate to hopefully be astute enough to be able to do that calculation, so to speak, in their minds, and to come up with who they may decide is in fact the best choice and the best fit for the country moving forward for another 5-year or so period. Of course, there are many opinions out there, and we have seen one individual quite often who's been very vocal on a number of different issues. And I speak, of course, of that of Mr. Ralph Gonsalves. And Mr. Gonsalves has been, certainly is no stranger to the politics of the Caribbean. He has been the Prime Minister of our neighboring island, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, for a good number of years. And he, of course, is in very many ways a very seasoned individual who came through the tradition of the University of the West Indies, Mona, studied law as well later on, and certainly has been a very active individual, an advocate in the politics of the country for a very, very long time. Entering, I think, back in 1994 as a parliamentarian for North Central Windward over in St. Vincent. And he has been serving as the Prime Minister of St. Vincent since the 29th of March 2001. So he certainly has been a very seasoned politician, going through a number of terms thus far. In fact, he is the longest continuously serving Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines since independence. Of course, that title in the case of St. Lucia would go to Sir John Compton, who led the country continuously as Prime Minister between the years 1982 until 1996. After that, of course, we have only seen the only other person who would have had served it longer. Well, the second in that instance would be Prime Minister Kenny Anthony, who has served 2 consecutive terms, a total of about 9.5 years continuously. But in total, of course, serving 3 terms. So in the case of Mr. Gonzalez, he's been around for a very long time, very seasoned politician as things go, the situation goes with respect to Caribbean politics. In fact, quite recently, we did in fact see operatives, surrogates of the United Workers' Party making reference to the opinions of Mr. Gonzalez on the matter of the Citizenship by Investment program. You'd recall that Mr. Gonzalez is not a fan of the CIP, and he effectively, St. Vincent is the outlier in a region within which we are seeing the countries going the route of establishing CIPs, and many of them have very successfully been able to raise quite a lot of revenue for the country and investment as well through these CBIs. And of course, we can speak to Dominica, Antigua, and Barbuda, which have been they've had these programs for a while, but as well St. Kitts and Nevis, Grenada, doing very well, and of course St. Lucia joining the last to join that grouping of about 5 countries with CBIs. St. Vincent, however, has gone a different direction, and perhaps they have other resources which they have been able to utilize to their advantage. For example, that of alien landholding licenses. They've got many people who, expats who live in the Grenadines, and they buy properties in these islands that are very popular, Mustique and Canoan, for example, and that brings in a fair bit of revenue for SVG. And of course, that was his statements regarding not wanting to go into CIP were in fact being utilized quite recently by the opposition United Workers' Party. However, a more recent statement by Mr. Gonzalez probably will not find much favor with the opposition. And that is because he, in fact, has declared that Chasney, and of course referring to the leader of the opposition, is the worst prime minister of the 21st century. And there's a clip of that. I don't have it right away. I'm going to get it at some point so you can hear his own words. But the St. Vincent Times last week covered those sentiments as proclaimed by Mr. Gonzalez. Now, of course, that statement is possibly as a result of some of the utterances of Mr. Chasney of late. Of course, he would have been down in St. Vincent and the Grenadines not too long ago, attending the OECS assembly, grouping of leaders, both sitting current government as well as opposition MPs from across the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. And Mr. Chasney was there speaking on the matter of CARICOM. Well, although that was not really even on the agenda, I should point out. But he decided that he was going to take that opportunity to speak on the matter of CARICOM and how he believed that the countries of the OECS, the Little Seven, should go at it alone and pretty much just forget about CARICOM. Very strange position to have, considering the micro-states that we have existing right now. And of course, just yesterday we played a clip relating to that of Nigeria. And speaking of St. Lucia and Nigeria and the relationships there, and the concept that, St. Lucia might be able to become a gateway for Nigerian investment into the Caribbean, that broader CARICOM region. And that broader CARICOM region was being touted as having a gross domestic product, an economic space of about $130 billion. Now, of course, if you look at St. Lucia alone, we only represent about $2 billion of that $130 billion. So we're a very, very small part of this larger Caribbean community, where, of course, we are seeing the more developed countries, certainly the larger ones, having a lot more economic activity and a lot more resources. So whether we speak to Jamaica, and which is, of course, the largest of the English-speaking islands, that of their bauxite industry, and it's a much larger island in terms of agricultural output and a lot of other resources that they enjoy over there. Or we can then, of course, look at Trinidad and Tobago with its oil and gas industry, and again, a larger island, larger population, and opportunities there as well. And of course, right now, the case of Guyana, where we're seeing a significant oil and gas boom. And so the relationship that St. Lucia and the smaller islands have always had with these larger islands has been that they've allowed for a space for which individuals can seek out work opportunities. We saw in the 60s, 50s, and 60s, numerous St. Lucians would have headed down to Guyana to work into the bauxite and gold mines. We saw opportunities for St. Lucians and Vincentians and Grenadians in the oil fields in South Trinidad. A lot of St. Lucians went down there. Of course, I think today one of those quote-unquote small islanders turned 90, that of the mighty Sparrow, originally from Grenada, the likes of Paul Keynes Douglas from Grenada. So a lot of people from who live in the south of Trinidad have these types of connections with others from the Eastern Caribbean. And that has been our long-standing tradition of going and seeking out work opportunities in these larger territories. And in fact, just yesterday, I believe, 4 countries of the CARICOM community agreed that they are, in fact, going to allow for free movement of people. And that has been one thing that has not moved in terms of the SME, the CSME. Finally, we're seeing that in the case of Belize, Dominica, Barbados, and there's one other country, I'm going to have to check because the name slips me at the moment, in fact, deciding that they're going to go the route of having open access. And this is, of course, really important at this time, because we're also seeing within the CARICOM, within the region, challenges in terms of population, right? And so in the case of St. Lucia, for example, we're seeing our population flatlining. And so the matter of immigration, the ability for people to move to be able to support that growth is very important. And so the idea that these countries are going that route and that we have a CARICOM community to be able to fall onto is so very important. But it doesn't appear that the comments, of course, by Mr. Shastney in the case of CARICOM went down very well, and with most. And so I'm not sure if that's the reason why Mr. Gonzalez decided to make his opinion of Mr. Chastain so very clear and pellucid, but he certainly did just that. And so just to read that story very quickly before we end and head to the weather news, that story from the St. Vincent Times. Alan Chastain has been described as the worst prime minister the Eastern Caribbean has ever seen in the 21st century. The description came from St. Vincent's five-term prime minister, Ralph Gonsalves, who took a swipe at the former St. Lucian PM. Chastain, who was in SVG recently for the OECS Assembly, took time to attend and speak at several events held by the opposition NDP. Quote, Chastain is undoubtedly the worst prime minister in the Caribbean in the 21st century, and I could give you chapter and verse about it, and in due course I will. I love when he comes to SVG because he gives me license to open my mouth about certain things when I go to St. Lucia. End quote. Gonsalves said the opposition having Chastain as a political track shows desperation, stating that the former St. Lucia PM can't persuade anyone to vote for the NDP. Quote, Chastain couldn't persuade anybody in St. Vincent to vote for the NDP. He had one chance to run St. Lucia, one single chance. And by the halfway term, people wanted to kick him out. They were just waiting to kick him out. End quote. Quote, you know, when I saw Chastain, I told the fellows, I said, I'm glad that Chastain was going to have a press conference with Friday because he will put Friday in a hole. I predicted it. I said, but Friday is a silly fella, and I will give the imagery of a banana tree because, you know, I will go to the folk. I'm the son of a farmer, and I represent a farming constituency, and the trunk of the banana tree is falling down, and you want to prop it up. You go for Chastain to prop it up? Gonsalves said that the banana plant, which is the metaphor for Friday and the NDP, shows the whole body is so weak politically and everything. And those sentiments coming from Ralph Gonsalves, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as published in the St. Vincent Times last week on the 3rd of July. That's our dish of the day. And when we come back, we're taking our weather report, and after that, we have some guests from the Cultural Development Foundation. It's summertime, and I know lots of parents will be looking for opportunities for summer programs for their children, and I think the CDF has a solution for you.
This has been The Daily Dish.
One test for your home, I see. Bathroom, kitchen, pantry. Need test for your balcony. Come down to Test Plus, satisfaction guarantee. Test Plus, Test Plus, Test Plus. Big test with unbeatable cost. Customer service, A+. Did all kind of tests. Come down to Test Plus. We also got gas and vanity. Books, doors, you'll see. Come down, don't mind nobody. We got the best as an island. Trust me. We are located Land Street in Castries, Bosses Joe Grosile, and Slack Street in Beaufort. Telephone number 453-7939. Test Plus.
Prepare yourself for the wildest, craziest, Valval blowout sale in Island Stars history. We're going absolutely wild with up to 60% off on ceramic and porcelain tiles. All Ruby Tools, Genesis tile strips, feeler, cleaners, and sealers. Select natural stone and travertine are 15% off with 12% off on PVC ceiling tiles. Get a whooping 15% off on all low stock. Our chip-to-edge tiles starts at $1 on our luxury brand. Bathtubs, vanities, toilets, faucets, and bathroom accessories are priced to go. Hurry down to our showroom at Castries, Watney Bay, and Viewfold, or call 450-452 or 453 Tile. Valval value like mad at Island Style, Thailand Bath.
This is Radio Caribbean International. It's now time for the weather news.
And that's all, of course, it's now time for your weather report as of 12 noon today, presented by Island Style, Thailand Bath. The forecast for St. Lucia Valley for the next 24 hours, winds will be blowing from the east near 20 miles per hour or 31 kilometers per hour. The weather fair skies becoming cloudy at times with a few showers. The forecast for the Los Angeles, cloudy at times with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms over the southern Windward Islands and areas further south. Elsewhere, fair to partly cloudy with a few showers. And the tropical weather outlook, the Atlantic high pressure system will maintain moderate to brisk easterly winds across the Eastern Caribbean region during the next few days. Also, a tropical wave located over the east of the Windward Islands will cause an increase in cloudiness and shower activity over the southern portion of the region during the next 24 hours. Another tropical wave located over the eastern tropical Atlantic is moving westward near 17 miles per hour or 28 kilometers per hour. Tropical cyclone formation is not expected over the tropical Atlantic during the next 7 days. And this was your weather forecast as of 12 noon today, presented by Island Style Talent Bath.
This has been RCI's Weather News. For more information, call the Weather Hotline at 454-3452. RCI 101 number 1.
Prepare yourself for the wildest, craziest, Valval blow on sale in Island Stars history. We're going absolutely wild with up to 60% off on ceramic and porcelain tiles. All Ruby Tools, Genesis tile strips, feeler, cleaners, and sealers. Select natural stone and travertine are 15% off with 12% off on PVC sealing tiles. Get a whooping 15% off on all low stock. Our chipped-edge tiles starts at $1 on our luxury brand. Bathtubs, vanities, toilets, faucets, and bathroom accessories are priced to go. Hurry down to our showroom at Cash Trees, Rodney Bay, and View Falls, or call 450-452 or 453 Tile. Valval value like mad at Island Style Thailand Bath.
And welcome back to the Lunchroom here at Radio Caribbean International. Now, we want to change and shift gears a little bit to speak about an upcoming opportunity for parents out there who I know quite likely looking for some sort of program. You know, the age of summer camps is upon us. And there are a lot of parents who want to be able to ensure that their children can be engaged meaningfully during the summer holidays that we actually have right now. And I think the Cultural Development Foundation is a good partner to talk to at this time, because they in fact have a solution for parents and for young people out there. And of course, it's called the Youth Summer Arts Platform. And I'm so very pleased that we have the Senior Officer for Training, Promotion and Development at the Cultural Development Foundation, Mr. Anthony Wilkie Jr., present with us to be able to share on this upcoming event.
Thank you so much, Calix. It's indeed a pleasure to be here. I think I want to preface this by starting with yesterday's activity. Yesterday we had a wonderful activity where we actually gave some scholarships to our program to participants and winners of the Junior Soca and Calypso finals this year.
Okay.
So I want to preface what I'm going to say about the summer camp with that bit of information, so persons listening out there already know the sense and the feel of what YSAP is all about. But the Youth Summer Arts Platform is a flagship program of the Cultural Development Foundation. It has been happening for a number of years, and this year, of course, is no exception. We are aiming towards youth ages 7 to 17 to participate in this summer program, where we want to create avenues for young persons interested in the arts and culture to spend their summer meaningfully engaged in arts and culture. We have a number of programs that we offer during that one camp. So pay attention to that, because when I tell you the price, you will realize how minimal the price is compared to all what we are offering. This year in the program, like we try to do every year, we try to innovate. This year we have a new feature where we're actually offering makeup as one of the components, makeup for stage.
Okay.
Yes, and that is in addition to steel pan, drumming, traditional dance, ukulele, arts and craft, drama. So we have a plethora of things happening. And again, this year we are including makeup as part of that ensemble. And of course, something we started last year, film and photography, with a special recognition for content creation, because we know that that is what the young people are into. We know that these are the kinds of activities that garner their interest. So we try to incorporate that into the program and just to, keep them interested and keep them engaged in stuff that they actually want to do.
Now, Anthony, before you go too much further into the details, just give us the dates that people need to think about, because I know a lot of parents are already thinking
They want to be
they
part
want to
of
know
this.
how exactly.
Yes.
When does it start? How long? Is it one run? Are there two different? Tell us how that's going to be structured.
No problem. We run from July 24th to August 22nd, and we actually have 2 camps happening concurrently. There will be one in Viewfort at the Beanfield Secondary School and one in Castries at the Patricia D. James Secondary School. The program runs Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and it's just pure fun and vibes.
Okay, wonderful. And just to break it down a little bit for those who are a little older there, the Patricia James Secondary School, that's the former
Formerly
Vidbote Secondary School in La
correct.
Claire.
In La Claire,
So it's a
yes.
pretty easy location.
Very easy. And of course, we have made sure to have the conversation with the Minibus Association so that they're aware that the program is happening, to make the buses more readily available and have them on the lookout for the young people while they're in that area.
Okay. Now, you said 7 to 17. Are is it all going to be grouped together, or are they going to be broken down at all within that number?
I like that you asked that. Interestingly enough,
is it going to be more like a primary school grouping?
right.
And
So
a
the
secondary
way
school
the camp
grouping?
is structured, in the beginning, we have everyone together because we want it to be explorational. Yes, we want everyone to have a feel of all those genres that I just mentioned, all those disciplines. And then we are going to specialize. And the reason for the specialization is mainly because the culminating activity for this program is a production. And this production this year, we are very thankful to have been given the honor to put on stage The Drum Maker by Kendall Hippolyte. So this year, compared to other years where we do device theater and we actually create the final production, we are doing something that is pre-established by one of our stalwarts in theater, Mr. Kendall Hippolyte. So we'll be working towards staging that at the end of the camp. So that's happening on August 23rd, and our hopes is that the public will come out and support these young people. The presentation, the showcase is for the public. It's open to the public because we want that public buy-in. We want the public to be part of the experience and show support for the young people.
Interesting enough, I think as part of the visit by the Nigerian president, the South Louis Community College was one of the places he actually visited.
Yes, it was.
And when he was there was actually an excerpt of that same play, I believe.
Okay, nice.
Being
Wow,
dramatized
ironic,
for him,
right?
which we very much liked as well,
Yeah.
that Drum Maker by Kendall Hippolyte. So it's starting off from July the 24th until August the 22nd. It's a pretty long run. That's good.
Pretty long run.
So almost a whole month.
It's 4 weeks.
Right.
4 weeks. And it's actually shorter than last year. Last year we did the entire 5 weeks of summer. So it's really based on the duration of summer. We want to capture, as soon as Carnival is over, we want to create that avenue for the young people to get something to do where they are meaningfully engaged.
Wonderful. So from Thursday, the Thursday after Carnival, you're starting July the 24th, and you're going right up until the Friday the 22nd.
Correct. With the production, of course, on the 23rd.
And then the production is the special event on the Saturday.
Yes.
Which, of course, is a public event. People will be able to actually come out.
Certainly.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, you were mentioning, before we even get into that, though, the times. What time do you start on a daily
9
basis?
a.m. to 3 p.m. daily.
9 to 3.
Monday
okay.
to Friday.
Okay, wonderful. Now, into the greater details. You're talking about some of these programs that you'll actually be offering and exposing students to as part of Youth Summer Arts Platform. I think you mentioned steel pan, drumming, traditional dance, arts and craft. I mean, how much time will they be spending on each? How is that going to be structured?
Okay, so like I said before, it's in the beginning we're going to have an exploratory phase. So everyone will be exposed to everything based on a schedule that will be created by our coordinator, of course, with guidance from the CDF, and then we start working towards the production. So I'm sure you're familiar, well, I know for a fact you're familiar with theater. So that need for speciality calls very much so. And that's where persons get to zone in and really delve into the particular areas, not only that they're interested in, but those that they seem to have an innate ability in. Now, the other beautiful thing about the Youth Samaj platform is that we are honored to have many participants returning. So every year you return, you build on the skills that you would have done previously, as well as with whatever new component you get to improve and learn something new. So those returning, of course, they will be the key people really specializing and so on, and we will try to fit in other persons, you know, again, within their skill range, their ability, and their passion, of course.
And of course, I guess you're going to have people who are at different points. So let's say Steel Pan, for example.
Yes.
You may have some people who got some
Definitely.
exposure
Right.
the year before, but you have some new ones coming in
Certainly.
who will need some special attention.
Definitely. And another good thing about it is that we have very, very talented and knowledgeable facilitators who are usually part of this program. And even myself, with my education background, the camp is structured in a way where we present differentiated learning. So we understand that different people will be on different levels, so the classes cater to that as well. So no child is left out, left feeling behind, etc. So it's a lot happening when you really think about
Well,
it.
because I'm just thinking of Steel Pan alone sounds like quite a lot
Yeah.
to take on, you know, in terms of getting individuals a sense as to, you know, learning the notes and how do you play and
all of that, right.
So that alone is very involved.
It is.
So
the
and then
entire
you have
camp-
drumming. It's
Yes.
also very involved.
So the entire camp is very involved, but it's also rotational. So persons get to hop from one thing to the next, and the facilitators, of course, will be guiding the process as we go along, putting the heads together, that sort of thing, to ensure that we are able to put on a quality production at the end. And I could say from personal experience, it is always something marvelous to witness and experience come the end of the program. I mean, just to see young people who have started from zero be able to be on stage and really get the command and so on by the end of 4 to 5 weeks, that in itself is beyond commendable. I mean, we know that the standard for production is 6 to 8 weeks, and here we have young people doing it from a zero base in 4 to 5 weeks. So I think that speaks volumes to what the camp is about, what it offers, and what especially our young people have to offer in terms of talents in the arts and culture.
I mean, how many students are you, or you young people are you looking at gaining? Or I mean, is there a cap in terms of how many you'll be able to cater for at each center at Beanfield?
Every year we try to be
Liberté?
more inclusive. Last year we had 80-something persons just in the North Camp alone.
Okay.
And this year we're seeing how we can up that and touch the 100. Because, of course, as a CDF, our mandate is cultural transmission. So as many young people as we can touch and get them involved in arts and culture, we welcome them. We will not turn anyone away. Of course, we do want to make sure that we remain in a safe and controllable environment. But
Well, that was going to be my next question,
yeah,
because you are
definitely.
dealing with young people as young as 7.
Certainly. So if it's a case where we have 200 students just in one camp and we need to bring on 50 facilitators, we will find the means. I mean, I think this is the opportune time, of course, to give a huge thank you to our sponsors who have come on board to lend their support to the Youth Samaj platform. So let me take this opportunity to say thank you to Republic Bank. Republic Bank is returning to YSAP this year again, as well as Lucelec. These have been two of our most continuing sponsors. They've really bought into the program and lent their support. Of course, we have ES Productions, who has been on board with us as well and have returned. We have The Wave, we have DBS, Liberty Media, Massey Stores, Peter Malta, Ed Essentials, Tropical Shipping. So we have some sponsors who've come on board to assist in making this happen. And of course, our doors are not closed. So we're open to even more people coming on board and getting a bite of this pie, because they see the value in what we're doing. They see the value in young people and just creating avenues where they can hone their talent. So if you're listening out there, Corporate St. Lucia, feel free to give us a chat if this is something that reads into what your company is about. We are definitely open to discussions in cash, in kind, to see how we can support these young people and really create meaningful avenues for them to participate and be part of.
I mean, this is a really important thing, because instead of the students, young people staying home and spending all their time on their device or watching TV or whatnot, they actually now have an opportunity to develop some skills and artistic skills, creativity.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I'm also this year we actually took an interesting twist in terms of our promotion, where we tried to look back at some of the years and see the impact we've had. And I am honored again to say that even our current Calypso Monarch, Desra Long, he has been a participant of the Youth Summers platform, and I mean, look at where he is now.
So you have some remarkable alumni out
yes,
there.
we do. Yeah. Yes, we do. So even we looking back and chatting, just reflecting on the history, we recognize the number of lives that the program has impacted, and of course, that is our goal, to create these young artists who are going to become the future of arts in St. Lucia. And we just want everyone. I mean, there are, again, going back to the scholarship program yesterday, all of that ties into it. We recognize the talent out there. I mean, I don't know if you got a chance to be part of the Junior Calypso.
I only saw snippets of it.
Okay.
And,
but I'm sure from the snippets
no
you
school
recognize.
on Friday, I think
right, definitely.
And I have to confess, I also wanted to go to RC Jam. I missed that.
You missed it.
I understood the
Yeah,
Ave Maria had their
Ave
own. So a lot
Maria
of
as
schools
well.
are having their own
Yeah,
events as well.
certainly. Even Mondador this year had their own Calypso competition in-house. So there's lots happening for young people. The young people have the talent, they have the interest. So the CDF, again, through our mandate, through what we're all about, we want to lend our support. We want to assist in creating avenues and opportunities for them to have safe spaces to practice what they love.
And tell us a little bit about, I know we don't have much time, but tell us about a few the facilitators. Who are you using?
Okay.
Give us a sense of some of the individuals.
Right now we're still finalizing who our facilitators will be for this year. But to just give a recap, like for example, leaning back to last year, and I think this person that I'm going to mention first is actually very pivotal in this year's program and what we are aiming to do with the drum maker, because drumming actually has been one of our longest standing components of YSAP. And last year, and I shouldn't say all, I'm not privy to all the years, but for as long as I've known YSAP, Niger Nestor has been the one doing and leading the drumming part of it, along with Mr. Cuthbert Popo. And I don't know if you know this, but they are also responsible for starting that very exceptional drumming group at the Vidbutei Primary School, which is still going on now. So that is the caliber of facilitators that we engage, and we don't only want it to be persons who are practitioners. We have educators who come on board. So it's really a nice holistic team, really pulling together their various strengths to make this into the beautiful thing that it really is.
Indeed, and it certainly is a wonderful milieu of different opportunities for students, for young people to be able to hone in on different talents and actually get the time, because even in the current curriculum, you don't have that much time necessarily to be able to get that kind of exposure. So really a wonderful opportunity here indeed. Now, we haven't even spoken about the price, and that detail I think is important. What are you getting? What's the value for money there?
I think I've already said what you're getting, and you're getting all of that in cash trees for only $200 and in Viewfort for $150.
Okay.
So it's really, the camp is really worth a lot more than what we're asking. And we're hoping that persons can see that and see the value in what we're trying to create. And we're hoping that they don't look at the financial aspect of it, but they look at the bigger picture, where these young people that they entrust to us will really be getting something holistic for their personal growth and development. And of course, the camp is not only about arts and culture because, again, we don't want it to feel like school. That's an important point for us. So we've also included in there field trips.
Okay.
And we have a fun sports day that's part of the camp. So we try to make it holistic. We try to create an experience. And actually, that's our tagline for this year in-house as a team. Our goal is to create YSAP into a movement and not a moment.
Because I'm thinking also in terms of film and photography, you would definitely want to go on these field trips.
Definitely. And most of the material that we capture for promotion as soon as the camp starts comes from these young people that they would be capturing throughout. Yeah, so again, leaning into the idea of content creation, which we know is a huge thing now, they're getting the skills and knowledge to actually do that. So we're also giving them the platform to put the work out there.
Okay.
Yes.
And of course, there's a lot that's going in because once you're speaking about arts, as you were saying, there's materials, there's equipment
Certainly.
that has to be brought in, that needs to be made available.
Certainly. So you understand when I say the $200 is meager compared to what we're actually offering.
So I think maybe maybe out of the film and photography group, they need to do maybe a promotional video.
Certainly,
for YSAP,
and not only for YSAP. Last year, as a matter of fact, we did drops for our sponsors.
Okay.
So the students were part of that creative process. They created and filmed adverts that we presented to our sponsors. From their perspective, I mean, it's up to the sponsors to utilize it or not, but they got some pretty good stuff, I should say, coming out of the young people.
Wonderful. So it's a 4-week camp happening from the 24th of July, Thursday the 24th of July, until Friday, August the 22nd. And it's a youth summer arts platform happening from, it's going to be at the Patricia James Memorial Secondary School. That's in Leclerc,
correct.
As well as the Beanfield Secondary School. Patricia James, that offering is $200 up in Castries and $150 reduced price in the south at Beanfield. And of course, 4-week camp from 9 o'clock until 3 p.m. And and at the end of it all, that big production night. I guess that's going to be at the National Cultural Center. Where do you normally do it?
Yes, we're going to have it home at the National Cultural Center, and more information on that component will be released in time. Again, our hope is that the content for promotion of that will come from the students. So I don't want to give away too much. Just want to tell the public, leave your calendars open August 23rd so that you can come out and support the young people. They need the support. We see all what's going on in our society right now, and we're hearing the cries against, young people not having meaningful engagement. So this is an opportunity to really delve into that matter and create change.
Well, I really hope that, of course, that is taken up. And you said you also offered some scholarships as well.
Yes, we did.
For some of those students
who
were performing in the Calypso,
and
Soca Junior, right? And so they'll be part of this camp.
So they definitely will be part of those camps. And again, the idea is to support what they're doing, to hone their skills and abilities. Right. So if you want to mingle with those monarchs, and it's not only the monarchs actually, we also selected some persons who we thought really have a future in the arts and culture, and they were really strong on stage, and we felt it necessary to support the CPMC and the CMMC in their endeavors to create avenues. So we lent our support for our program as well.
So it's all holistic and integrated.
Yes, it is. And again, that's what we're trying to do at the Cultural Development Foundation. We're trying to partner with our sister agencies and so on, and really work towards the one mission, the one goal that we all have, in as much as we may have separate components of it.
Thank you so very, very much. And of course, we've been speaking with Mr. Anthony Wilkie Jr., Senior Officer for Training, Promotion and Development here at the Cultural Development Foundation. And behind the scenes as well, Miss Carla Chico, also Training, Development and Events over at the CDF, telling us all about the Youth Summer Arts Platform from July the 24th until August 22nd. Anthony, how does one register? I don't think we spoke about that.
Yes, I did miss that important note. As long as you're following the Cultural Development Foundation, we are across all social media. The links are readily available as well as on our website. And of course, nothing beats coming into the Cultural Development Foundation. For those who do not know where that is the building next to the National Cultural Center. You
Barnard
can come
Hill.
in and we definitely will get you registered and signed up for this amazing experience.
Okay, and do we have a number that we could call as
The CDF is reachable at 457-9021.
457-9021? Okay.
Yeah.
457-9021, just in case somebody's writing it
Yes.
down out there. And of course, I think we've covered all the bases in terms of this Youth Summer Arts platform. Any final words from you?
I think my final words would just be words of encouragement. Parents, I could tell you, I myself have gone through this program from since 2017. I've gone through many different roles, and now I'm fortunate to be part of the CDF team actually manning this. So I can definitely raise my hand and say this is a worthy cause, and there's lots of opportunities coming out of this for the young people. Actually, one important point that I forgot to mention is that the program actually extends beyond the summer. We're offering apprenticeship programs for the young people. So it's not just a summer. Like I said, it's not just a moment. It's a movement. So we have lots happening. I just want the public to come out here and support. Look out for us. Our information is readily available. Follow us, CDF St. Lucia, again, across all social media. Look out for our flyers. And yeah, just come and be part of this movement that we are creating.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much, Anthony Wilkie and Carla Chico of the Cultural Development Foundation, for sharing with us that Youth Summer Arts platform happening from July the 24th until August the 22nd. And of course, look out for their production. It's The Drum Maker by Kendall Hippolyte. It is the finale to these summer camps, and that'll be on Saturday, August the 23rd. So, of course, if you've got a young person, a child, a ward between the ages of 7 or to 17, of course, this is an opportunity for you to bring
Most
them out
certainly.
and to give them a wonderful summer of arts. And that's our program. And of course, we want to thank all those who've been listening. Unfortunately, we may not be on tomorrow. I don't think so. I've got another engagement that's going to bring me to the south of the island, but we're back certainly on Friday. And we have that interview lined up with the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, and they're celebrating an anniversary, but as well, they are launching a very important action regarding the monitoring of banks and banking conduct, and they'll be in to tell us all about that. But in the meantime, do have yourself a very blessed Wednesday. Take care.